This week on the show, photographer Robert Alvarado. I'm photographer Brian Fisher.
And I'm model Roxanne Callie.
And this is TWiP GLAM.
Welcome back to TWiP GLAM, This Week in Photography's Glamour podcast.
TWiP GLAM is your weekly adventure into the world of glamour photography. This week, we're interviewing Robert Alvarado.
Welcome, Robert. How are you?
Hey. Hello. Mom.
What got you interested in the first place with photography?
Yeah. I think it was being able to date the models. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, me too.
Very, very sarcastic. No, as far back as I can remember, I've had a camera in my hand. So I've always been taking pictures. I worked about 25 years for the phone company.
Wow.
It was Pacific Bell, and then AT&T, and then SBC, and then it went back to AT&T. But even when I worked there, I would actually take a camera with me to work and just take pictures of people. And it just kind of blossomed. It's always been with me, and I've always been kind of a visual person. Artistic side of me was nurtured by my mother. We used to draw and paint, actually.
Oh.
So, and when I worked for the company, I actually learned Photoshop before I even got into digital photography. So I know a lot of photographers hate to, or it's a harsh word, but don't like to edit. That's half the fun for me. I love editing. For me, I couldn't call it mine if I didn't actually take and edit the picture. But yeah, back on track. So I figured I'd learn how to do lighting and work with models. I really didn't know where it was going to go. I just know that I enjoyed taking pictures of people. So that's kind of how it all came about.
Yeah, it's good that you bring up that you really enjoy the editing process. I tend to be a light editor. I'm not a Photoshop person usually. I only in a saving a photo way do I usually go to Photoshop. But one of the nice things about our field is it is really broad. Mm-hmm. I've delved a little into film photography lately and talking to people that will only shoot large format film. And obviously you're not doing much editing there.
Yeah.
And all the way down to people that you can't see the original picture.
Yeah.
And I've been aware of your work for years and always liked it. And I like that. And one of the reasons why we really wanted to get you on is that where you do what I think it would be fair to say very heavy editing, your people are not plastic. Your people still look like people. They are stylized. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it's the difference between a really great painter and a really great, not a good painter.
A really great, not a good painter.
Yeah, no. I love that you have found the balance of the heavily edited yet still beautifully depicting people without looking fake.
Mm-hmm.
And
thank you. And just to add on to that, my style, I'm ripping off Norman Rockwell. I don't know if people will know who that was or is.
Oh, I think everyone knows who Norman
Rockwell is. If
you
you don't know Norman Rockwell, pause the podcast, educate yourself.
Google it.
Come back.
No, I work with very young women, so it's like they have no idea of things that happen. I mean, obviously I'm old, but so they usually don't know who that is or was. But I try to make the images look painted or illustrated, but I still want to hold on to their kind of their, for lack of a better word, the essence of themselves. But I like people to look at it and go, "Is that painted or what? You know, what the heck is that?" Mm-hmm. So that's my goals, and just to also add on to that, the reason I shoot mostly on white backgrounds is because I want the. I'm going to start to sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I really don't. I want the the viewer to put all their focus on the model and the actual beauty of them, as opposed to like all the stuff in the background.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do shoot some outdoors, and to be honest with you, I'm sure a lot of people don't know this, but man, I am scared to death to shoot in natural light. I thought
man.
the only reason I do it is because I love shooting airplanes, so I have to go to air shows to get next to them. But
you don't put an airplane in a studio?
You need a bigger studio. I think it's very interesting where I honestly am more uncomfortable with artificial lighting. I am used to, and one of the things I teach in the classes that I occasionally teach is dealing with this very dynamic of the sun is going there and you only have so much time, and I hope you looked up when the tide was because it's going to be coming on the beach at this time, and we can't shoot today because those two are out of sync. And you put me in front of a whole bunch of artificial lights and I go, ooh, I remember this, but I think it's hard. It's funny that you should, going back just a little, you talk about Norman Rockwell. I had a student that had very, very bad eyesight, and I questioned his desire to work in photography. Mm-hmm. But he was both poor optical quality and poor color rendition. And he would generate these pictures, mostly for his church and family, that were horrible. And they were really ghastly to look at. And I'd say, Bob, what are we... And he's like, they look good to me. And I'm like, well, that is lovely until such time as you're giving them to somebody else. And he says, do you think everyone's been being polite? And I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Yes, Bob. I think everyone's been polite to you for a long time.
Yeah.
And I knew I just stabbed him in the heart.
Oh.
And I said, we can fix it. And he's like, no, we can't. I've been to, I've been to doctors and things. I'm like, no, we can fix this. It's a signal in, signal out problem. And it's funny you should bring it up because I brought to him a book of Norman Rockwell pictures and a Glamour magazine. And I flipped it open to one similar to the picture he was editing. And I said, make the colors look like that picture there. Yeah. And I said, and don't you dare hit that sharpening slider. You just leave you're no longer allowed to have that. And sure enough, because he said, but that picture looks terrible. I'm like, make it look terrible just like that. And because he could copy it and because he had an inspiration, in this case for color space, he fixed himself. He was very happy. He paid for several sessions.
Oh, good.
But I love that you're talking about inspiration. It's a big
thing. And I actually need inspiration a lot. So the model has to inspire me for me to actually want to work with her. And to dwell on that point a little bit further about, you mentioned it looked good to him. And still to this day, the only reason I do this style is it pleases me. I like it. Mm-hmm. That sounds selfish, but I never really got into this to make money. Mm-hmm. And I just do this because it inspires me and it makes me feel good. And I can tell you, I'll look at some of the pictures after I've edited them and gone, wow, who did that? Seriously, I surprised myself. So I don't get me wrong, I'm very thankful that people actually appreciate what I do, but I'm really just doing it because I love it.
Well, it's all selfish in some regard.
I can tell you on the white paper that was written for generating this web series, one of the first bullet points is provide inspiration for others. Mm-hmm.
So having a passion yourself is a really important thing.
I think one of our missions is to take somebody that has a vision, and be it for themselves or others, it doesn't really matter. They have a vision, and then we can bring that in. And I can tell you more than one of my photo shoots, I've been like, I am so going to copy Andy Becca's picture here. Or I'm going to, and you start there, and then your style takes over, and you go from there.
Yeah.
You can never recreate an image exactly. I mean...
Actually, sometimes it's a great challenge.
Yeah.
So before we get to our images, I would like to remind everyone that they can subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, or through thisweekinphoto.com. Because we display nudity, and as a matter of fact, we're going to have nudity on this podcast, the images that have nudity are going to, they're going to have some modesty boxes for the iTunes feed and the YouTube feed, because honestly, those iTunes YouTube people are very family-oriented and dastardly prudes, and we need to keep them happy or they will make us go away. So if you would like to see the fully unedited images, pop on over to thisweekinphoto.com. You can watch it there on the site. And on to images.
And we highly recommend that.
Yes.
Because it's the full experience.
Please do.
Oh, I'm so anxious. I was so anxious to get to these photos. They're so fun.
Oh, okay. I'm going to start. My first impression, other than it's very much a classic. This image has been done several times, in several ways, in several settings. But the person bathing in the small tub is a classic thing.
Mm-hmm. With the bubbles, of course.
Yeah, with the bubbles,
yes,
and I
strategically placed.
I feel creepy old manish saying it, but this woman has the best boobs I've seen in some time.
For sure. I mean, they have to be fake.
I don't want to say they're unnaturally good, but
they've got to be. But they're beautiful. It doesn't
if they're
matter.
not,
They
she's
look
going to be
great.
one soul short in the future.
She does have a great shape.
I'll comment a little bit. That's April Charisse, and I've actually known her since she was 16.
Really?
Oh, wow.
I met her at GlamourCon in LA one year.
Huh. So are they real?
No.
No.
I didn't think so. They're beautiful.
When she turned 18, that's what she did. And I'm sure, Brian, you've seen good boob jobs and bad ones.
Oh, yes.
Her boob job is, why aren't they all like that? You know,
yeah.
If there is such a thing as medicine being an art, the boob job is definitely the defining line.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful job they did. But really, you did an amazing job at recreating this image in such a classic way, yet also having, it's so sensual and so, it's sexy and very fun.
You know, I have to ask, it's funny we were talking about not being outside, and this looks suspiciously outside. Where did you find a bathing tub?
Yes. This was, I was invited to a photo shoot, and it was a bunch of photographers, and April just happened to show up, and I hadn't seen her actually in over a year. And so the setting was at this place in Riverside, California. I believe it's in Menifee. I could be wrong. But he has, 5 acres. Part of his property is made to look like an old town.
Love it.
And brought this tub, and you might see a gun there to the left. I believe that one's real.
How fun.
And got April in the tub, made some suds, and, made art.
It is great. It is deceptively simple and effective. I now will never pass one of those tubs up because everybody else just uses an ag bucket, and that's fine. But all of a sudden you're like, oh yes, there were dedicated tubs.
Actual tubs. They're beautiful too. They're really cool.
Personalized and I have to have one now. Mm-hmm. See,
I was thinking the same thing.
These
sales
shows are very expensive for me because I'm like, you used what kind of equipment?
Yeah.
And while they're talking, I'm Amazon.com.
Yeah.
It's a great picture.
Yeah, it is.
I have no poor words to say. And again, it's been treated to where it has a bit of that painting-y feel about it.
It does.
Love that.
The tonal qualities of the skin. Well, this one, here you go. White background.
Yes, this is the first of our white background pictures. Okay.
USA, look at those heels.
I see more of the where did you get that?
Yeah, sure.
Where did you get the giant gun and the heels?
Yeah, well, the heels I've seen. They're online.
Well, see, shockingly, I'm not looking for these Star-Spangled Heels.
I don't know why you're not. They sell them around July.
Yeah, the heels, I got them off of eBay, and I liked them so much. I have them from size 6 to size 10.
Wow.
Because knew I would use them a lot, and obviously I have in a lot of my images. But I'm a big eBay guy. The M6, that's an M60 machine gun. And by the way, it's a prop. It's not real, but it's really, really heavy. The reason I actually got that, I wanted to recreate the Rambo thing where he's, shooting the M60 machine gun and, just laying waste to this town. And then the bullets they're dummy bullets, but you can get them, again, on sites. The helmet is a reproduction. And then, she's not wearing much, but that's the point,
I think
right?
maybe a G-string and shoes. That's all I see. And a helmet.
I was going to ignore just the shoes and the helmet's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, oddly enough, she was in the Army, and she was a weapons specialist. So she actually knew the gun. And
I suspect she was popular in the Army.
I bet she was.
She didn't get the boobs till after she got out of the Army. So.
Well, either way, she's gorgeous. And she has a beautiful figure and face.
She has, in my opinion, just a beautiful face. I just love her face.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm shopping for models, which sounds a little weird.
Strange, but it's true. You have to look around and find the ones you want.
You spend hours on Model Mayhem going, nope. Yeah. And I always start with the face. If I don't have a project in mind, I make a list of pretty faces or faces with character, which are also valuable to me. And almost no matter what happens from the neck down, I can come up with a project for you. You can have a pretty bizarre body, but if you got a good face, I will find a project at some point I want you to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So both is amazing. And
both is amazing. Both. She's got both and both of those things.
Yeah.
I want to say a word about props because I've done some shoots with props. If you're building props that should be heavy in real life, make sure they're heavy as a prop. Because I see way too many people with prop guns that are made of plastic, and they move them around because they don't weigh anything.
Yeah.
So I had a shoot recently that I wanted the gun to be... It was a plastic gun, and we ended up filling it with concrete.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, really, really... And she's like, wow, this is heavy. And I'm like, and she held it completely differently.
Yeah, that's exactly, because you don't have the natural hold if it doesn't have the weight to it that it should have.
One of the things we see with your images, and it's different than a lot of the images, because a lot of our photographers have been outdoor photographers recently. Mm-hmm. And here, we don't have any real composition clues with the background. It is all about the lines generated with the body.
Which, lots of angles, just like we always talk about.
And here we've got nice angles. We've got parallels with the gun and the leg, the lower leg and the maybe her
arm.
Right leg, her arm. Mm-hmm. This is, and sometimes this is a model that just knows how to set into a nice pose. Sometimes it's a photographer who...
helps.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little both. Or an art director who that's all they're looking at. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I really want to draw people's attention to those parallel lines. They work nicely, and then the big slash through the middle with the gun and the leg.
And not all of the tattoo things, not all girls with tattoos can pull them off and do a shoot that pulls them off. And this one is amazing. It kind of does the bad girl thing. Yeah,
you're lucky. Your genre is very tattoo friendly.
Very.
And
it's kind of funny how I got into that. As I said before, I'm old. So tattoos to me had a very negative connotation, and I wasn't very accepting in the beginning. But basically what I had to do, or what I did is, because I saw it so much in the pinup genre, these girls have massive tattoos all over themselves. So I just kind of had to take a step back and take a look at them and go, you know what? These tattoos aren't like they used to be. They're actually works of art.
Yeah.
And they're amazing, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely true.
They are. This one's so fun.
I had to put this and its next one on because I'm a nerd right down to the core.
I like Star Wars too.
Yes. And what inspired you to go sexy stormtrooper?
Yeah. On the beach too. On the beach.
Yeah, Laguna Beach to be exact. But this is kind of an interesting story. I would say 50%, maybe 60% are my ideas, 40% are the model's ideas. This was the model's idea, and I'll be totally honest with you, I did not want to do this. The only reason I did, because I'd worked with her before, and she wanted to do these for her boyfriend, and I go, okay, well, let's just go down there. So it was originally supposed to be just with the helmet, so I threw the surfboard, and I had that old surfboard. I got it for $40 at a surf shop. I live by Laguna Beach, so. And another curious thing, I still don't get this image to this day, but there it is. We did her thing, and then I go, you know what? CJ, her name's CJ Sparks, Sparx. Look her up. She's a great model. Let's just have you stand there with the helmet and the surfboard. And when I got it in on the computer, I go, you know, that kind of looks kind of cool.
It does look really cool.
It does. That white swimsuit with the dark band in it.
Yeah.
It is perfect for this because the bandwidths in the helmet and all, it bizarrely looks like it's supposed to be there.
Yeah. It's kind of just funny.
Stormtroopers got to take a vacation now and then, and they're never allowed to take their helmet off.
I don't think that stormtroopers are female. I think they're all male.
Stormtroopettes?
Maybe.
Do they have a USO for the stormtroopers? I don't know.
Maybe we have a listener who
we got
can tell us.
Somebody call George Lucas. We got a new movie.
Yeah.
One other cool point I need to point out here is the helmet. I do a lot of Star Wars stuff. I have a friend who is heavily into cosplay, and that's a Stormtrooper helmet that's from the latest Star Wars.
I was going to say it doesn't have round eyes.
Ooh.
Yeah, because they changed the style of the helmet, and I think those things go for like $500 or $600, but it's very well made, and he's gracious enough to let me use a lot of his Star Wars stuff.
Well, thank goodness it didn't go out to sea.
That, and he probably gets to see the images, which probably helps a lot.
Yes, he does enjoy looking at the girls.
All right, there's two
awesome
reasons to put this in.
R2-D2.
It continues the Star Wars thing. I wanted to bring that out.
That's the same model.
Oh, is it really?
This is also a lesson in no matter how strange your pose is, it just might work.
It might. And it's just such a fun pose. I love her idea, or whoever's idea it was.
Yeah.
That's a cool pose.
I have a shelf of pose books now, and I guarantee that one's not in there.
Yeah. It's true. And I like the way her hands are positioned, too.
Yeah.
They're really great.
Yeah.
That pose was an idea I had. I go, well, it's R2-D2. You know, you try to get into the character, right?
Mm-hmm.
So D2 is very quirky, so let's just turn you upside down, put your legs over, and just go with that and see what happens. So that's how that came about. And of course, you can get those swimsuits online, eBay. The hat I actually got at Disneyland. They're little Mickey ears.
Oh, how funny. Made into a detail. Did you
I don't think
post-production
Disney had
that?
this in plan.
Did you post-production the hat?
No. She was actually wearing it.
I mean, was it Mickey ears still when it was on her head in the photo, or you did that post-production?
I think the ears are hidden behind the leg and the hair.
Yeah, the ears are there.
Okay.
If you look, yeah.
It is. It immediately made me smile, and I figure if it makes me smile, I need to show this picture because it'll make everyone else smile too.
It's just so fun, and that could be a very erotic picture with certain placement being different.
And that was one of my concerns, actually. And I actually went back and forth. I know I shoot a lot of naked girls, but I actually do question myself sometimes. I go, wow, is that really too much? Or the reason I went with it because I thought it was more fun than erotic.
Exactly.
I agree. And it covers just enough, and it's really isn't erotic, even though it's fun. And it didn't make me think, oh, sometimes I look at photographers' work and I say, nope, I will never work with them. And it's not because they aren't a great artist, but it's because of the shoots that they've done in the past are things that I wouldn't be comfortable with.
And didn't show restraint.
Exactly. And there's a line, and you didn't cross it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you. I know I've crossed the line a few times, but hey, that's artists do, right?
Yeah, that's our job is to...
part of it.
Well, by courting the line, you generate the sides of the line.
Yes.
If nobody courts the line, there is no way to tell which side you're on.
Okay, I have to tell you, this is quite phallic.
There may be a slight phallic bit to it, but again, it's funny, and I love
great.
the line of the legs. It is a giant V. It is
That girl's
visually
flexible.
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
It's great.
It is absolutely great.
An under boob, I think we've both discussed,
Yes.
is the sexiest of all the boob. Side boob, very minorly second, I think.
Yeah.
And then cleavage is last.
We have
of
taken
course.
great time to study a lot of images to determine the underboob sexiness over the years.
I think everyone can agree with us, but we'll see. Maybe
well,
we have some.
if they disagree, they're just wrong.
There you go.
So it's easy.
But yeah, that model is 6'2", I believe. She had really long, and she was very athletic because I had actually tried that pose with another model, and she just could not get her legs up like that.
Uh-huh.
She did. It's like, oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted.
Well,
Yeah,
and
that's a
honestly,
balance,
she's
too.
the legs. If you had inathletic, pencily little legs, it wouldn't work at all.
No.
Yeah,
Right.
It has to be a strong, robust person to make it look at all valid.
Like she would actually shoot that cannon
Yes.
or whatever it is. Gun of some sort.
And yeah, word on that prop. That's actually an
Wait, that's a prop?
yeah. It's a Ma Deuce. It's a 50 caliber machine gun. And
You don't have
it's
those lying around? I
No,
do.
not real, but it's made out of part metal and part rubber. And it's a huge gun. And again, it's also very heavy, but it was online. It was on sale for $160. So how could I pass that up, right?
Oh,
It's cheap.
definitely.
Absolutely cheap.
That's really cool.
Well, I like it. It's not a picture that needs a heck of a lot of comment. It's all really self-evident, but
And the white background again. It's just
funny,
clear.
it's exciting, and she, of course, just explodes off of it because of the white background.
Yep. Very fun.
Have you ever done a gallery showing of these?
Right now, I had a show in Laguna Beach at one of the art galleries. I was very fortunate to show some of my stuff down there. So yes,
Very cool.
but
I got to think they'd be well received.
They're just all so fun. Here's another one that's tattooed, but it goes so well.
Honestly, it would not go well if she wasn't. This is.
It's
I like
comical.
your bomb. Did you
Yeah.
build the bomb yourself?
yeah, another fun story. That bomb was sent to me by a fan in South Carolina.
Huh.
Too
He
funny.
made it himself and sent it to me, FedExed it. The thing must weigh, because it's actually on a stand. And of course, I just photoshopped the stand out of it. So
That's what I was going to ask.
the girls can sit on it. And then we were doing this tank girl thing. So I said, why don't you just hold on to it like you're, falling out of the sky and scream. So she did that. Right after this shot, by the way, the bomb broke. It fell off the stool.
Oh.
Well, I'm looking at it, and it, not that everyone should copy everything, but they're flower pots.
Yes, exactly.
And
funny.
how simple, and what a great idea.
It is a great idea. I was trying to decide if she has a tongue ring in or not. Does she have a tongue ring?
Probably.
Can't
I just
recall.
like it. It's just
I like
like
the
the
shoes.
idea of it. And the shoes are awesome.
Well, you have been kind enough to give us a behind the scenes of when this was taken.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
And again, that's your Photoshop in action, little angle, little color, but other than placing it in its place and giving it a little tone, you haven't done much to it, actually.
That's just super awesome. I love the idea.
Yeah, and I normally don't like photoshopping in backgrounds, but this one just kind of screamed, just put it up in the sky.
Yeah, no. I
It
couldn't
needed
agree
it.
more.
I think it was perfect. A good decision.
Yeah. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. Another amazing. See, I love the drastic changes that you have. I mean, you have a portfolio that has so many different styles, but they're all kind of similar, but in drastically different ways.
Yeah. Now, believe it or not, this is actually one of my very favorite images.
I love how it has so much drama.
It is.
It that it screams movement and passion, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
I'm going to get this wrong, but flamenco?
The dance?
You got me, but I can give you a little backstory on the two people. The girl in the picture I met through another model, and she turned out to be a ballroom dancer.
Oh.
Oh no, I've always wanted. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie. I think it's called Ballroom. But I've always wanted to photograph dancers. Well, her partner, which was her boyfriend at the time, I go, they're Russians, by the way.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I go, can you get your boyfriend over here and let's do some dance stuff? So they brought a couple costumes, and I had seen this pose. It was actually from a drawing or a painting, I believe. And I go, here, let's just try to recreate this. And they actually nailed it pretty good.
Yeah, it's incredible. Their pose is amazing.
Yeah, I have kicked around for a couple of years that I would like to build a tilt table to put on a studio where you can take the floor and angle it up to maybe 30 degrees one way or the other.
Yeah.
And the reason being is things like this, where it would be fun to make that skirt hang as though they were moving.
Oh,
even though they're not moving, by moving the world and then straightening it back up again.
That's cool.
And then I'm inspired again. I'm looking at my tools. Going, I could probably build that in here.
We're in his shop, so everything else is tools.
Yes.
And then there's
we're in the
studio.
land of tools. It's a great picture. I love the angles. I love the passion. And if you're a photographer and you don't try to bring some of this into your work, then you probably need to stop at some point. And I love the classic sun behind it, which is sort of trade and parcel for the whole genre.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah.
And the red feather.
I used to put a big circle behind all my work when I first started out, but this one just kind of called for that gold circle behind him. So that's
it gave him. It ties into her dress color, of course. But
right.
It also does something for him, and I can't really put it to words.
I think it gives him a silhouette that he wouldn't have.
Color off of her skirt, actually, to make it match.
Good choice. Very good choice.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Well, this next image is completely different.
It is completely different, and that is from a movie, and I cannot put my finger on the movie.
Ranger.
Yes, the Lone Ranger. Johnny Depp's character.
That's
I haven't
Johnny
seen
Depp.
it. I know. It's terrible.
Johnny Depp's sexier than I remembered.
So, again, I got the feathers off of eBay, the headband I had, and then that crow I got off of eBay as well. I think it was only $20. And then the makeup artist, I told her exactly, I go, just make her look like Tonto from the movie, and there we go.
Yeah, well, nailed it.
Yeah, and then the treatment you've used to weather and sort of coffee stain look
and the
to
background
it is
so cool.
It really ties it in nicely.
Totally.
I was looking at more close up, and the skin you've left very natural, which of course with a character that is supposed to be out in the wilds would not have beautiful smooth skin. There'd be some texture there.
Yeah, it's a great image.
Absolutely love it. As far as
the makeup's amazing.
Yeah, just do that before work. See how it works out.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that would go over great with my job.
Mind a bit. Is that just a white background and then you treated it in later, or did you use a textured background?
Yeah, it is. It was originally done on a white background, and I'm sure I did use some kind of a texture in the background. And then I believe I used Topaz Adjust.
To give it that hue.
Give it that hue, yeah.
Yeah, Topaz is great.
The black and white, because the black and white has one of the filters does that brownish vintage thing. So I think I use that for that particular image.
I like it.
Well, very
It's
cool.
good. Like the black lips.
Yeah, me too.
Speaking of airplanes, of course
there
there's
you
a
go.
girl there, but I'm looking at the P-40 in the background.
You know, it's a very busy shot. It's hard to not look at. I mean, you look at it,
It is
you're
a
like,
little busy.
wow. So there's a plane, and there's a bike, and there's a girl, and there's tattoos. And
Which airport is that?
You have it all.
yeah. Even a
So-
face on the airplane.
The face
was
is on the
it.
bike.
Oh.
I was thinking at the Gillespie Air Show in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
The model is actually from Alaska. She met me at the air show. We're taking pictures with the P-40, and this guy comes along with that bike. And he goes, "Hey," "You want to use the bike?" And I go, "Yeah." So that's how that came about.
Does she really have red hair like that?
Yeah, it's dyed, of course, but
I mean,
her
yeah,
hair.
but that's what I
It's
meant.
like-
it's not photoshopped. I was just curious because it goes so well with the shoes and the
the
plane.
spinner.
Yeah.
And then the hat I have, you can get those hats for like $50.
So,
The old Air Corps.
do you have any issues with shooting at air shows?
I haven't because I always try to locate the owner and I ask them first for permission.
Very good.
That's very smart.
I've thought about shooting it at air shows, but I thought, oh, there's people everywhere.
Yeah, I bet that is probably a very difficult thing
Yeah.
with such a public space like that.
It can be a big problem. The other thing I do after I find the owner, I immediately introduce them to the model. So that helps,
That helps.
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing better than having an entourage of beautiful ladies. I understand. Having just escorted models to the beach, I have a full understanding why the rich guys have the hot chicks flanking them.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good feeling. Oh, your tank girl.
Yeah, this is awesome too. I mean, it's the whole army theme again. You kind of have the American, like the flags and the shooting and the army, and this one's just goes along with that theme. That's so cool.
Yeah, the backstory on this, her name is Nikki, and I think she's like 5'11", but she's mainly a goth model. And this was our second shoot, and I said, "Hey, Nikki, let's do a tank girl thing." And she texted me back. She goes, I don't know, well, I'll see what I can do. So this is what she did. The only thing that's fine is the helmet and the gun, I think.
Wow,
And
she got creative.
I like her.
She did everything else. It was amazing.
Yeah, what a fun wardrobe.
Oh, she's... she is also kind of the perfect body for this. She's not like super busty. She's got that kind of lankiness about her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an airsoft M79 grenade launcher. So it's not real, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
We have a tank down by the in the middle of San Luis Obispo that she'd be great on the tank down there
Yeah,
at the
I bet.
armory. I'm sure they won't mind.
Let's go.
Let's go. Road trip.
Grab her.
Well, no,
We can
you got a
take her.
model sitting next to you, don't you, Brian? We'll just
Oh,
take
that's
her.
Oh,
right there.
yeah. I'm not 5'11", but
You're not?
We'll make it work.
5'6".
No, you got to be taller than that. You're not wearing those shoes. You would be 5'11".
There you go. I wish I had platforms like that. Those are cool combat boots.
They are pretty awesome.
I love roller skating. This is like derby girl status.
Yes, this is love this in several ways. And firstly, I like the exaggeration of the wheels.
Yeah.
Because they're so much closer to the camera.
Absolutely. It's like the fish picture where you put it really close.
Yeah. I will admit that the buttocks are attractive.
Oh yeah. Well, if you're roller skating, you got a good butt.
That's true. We got a model friend here locally that is a derby girl.
Kirby, Queenie.
Queenie, yes.
Not Kirby, Queenie.
And she has got the most amazing group of muscular, female, attractive friends
Yes.
that I would never make angry.
And oh yeah, exactly. And they're usually lots of fishnets, which I'm surprised that she
Yes.
didn't do any fishnets because it's so much in.
Call her back.
No. But she's got the tattoos and she's got the hair, you know, the color in the hair.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's a very fun shot.
And we have...
And she is actually a derby girl. And that's why she has all that cool stuff. That's actually her uniform that she wears.
Cool. How fun.
We are lucky enough to have the behind-the-scenes picture.
Okay, so I roller skated for 3 years, and I'm really good at it. I can do the spins. I can do backwards. I'm fast, too, as a track runner in high school. I know I would be good at roller derby.
Well... The only problem, and honestly, for those of us that are Photoshop lighters, roller derby girls get all kinds of bruises and things.
And scrapes.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I know. When after I've been modeling, I stopped playing soccer. I've stopped doing any kind of like really aggressive sports because, well, I'm already accident prone as it is.
I wasn't going to mention it, but
it's true.
I love the behind the scene pictures of everything. Because you can see that it is a chaotic mess to get a picture taken.
It's really fun. I love how you're up above it, and you would never have known that from the shot. It looks like she's falling.
Right. I wanted to show everybody how I did that. So people, again, you talk about inspiration. So maybe I can inspire some other people, maybe not this particular kind of image, but show you how you can get a different angle just by, thinking a little bit outside the box. Not a lot, but a little bit.
Were you on a ladder?
Yes, you can see the step ladder there on the left.
Oh, I see. So you're leaned over extra.
And then I'm actually holding the camera above my head. Mm-hmm. Yes, professional photographer here.
Yeah. I was wondering because the ladder's not beneath you like you just leaned over and you're still looking at it. It does look like you had to have put it way over your head.
Yeah, I did. And move it out a little bit.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of those to get the right angles.
I bet.
One of my favorite cameras I have is a Canon 6D, and it's not known for being the professional one. It's known for being the inexpensive one, but it has the magic that it's fully remote controllable from your iPad.
Oh, that's nice.
And so I have, on a couple of occasions, mounted it to the roof of the shop so that I could look straight down on something, and you can go in and you can change all your settings. You can actually see it through the viewfinder. You'd be like, move a little left, and then you go click and take the picture.
That's so cool.
It feels a little cheating when you're not touching the camera, taking the picture, but
it's true. But technology is amazing.
And I love a simple camera. I really do. I don't need all those bells and whistles. It turns out if they would come out with a camera that had no controls except for the manual, that'd be okay. That'd be good. It is a great
picture. A really cool image.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, there's the heels again.
And I couldn't help but put the heels back in. Very patriotic, and
very.
We are in a post-election patriotic place here. And by the time this airs, we're going to be into the new presidency. I hope we're all here. Hope everything goes out well. This image is beautiful. Her tattoo is, and again, I'm not a tattoo guy, but I was looking up as close as I could get to that leg tattoo, and that thing is amazing.
Well, also very patriotic.
Yes.
So it's really neat just ties the whole thing in.
Who is this model?
What does she go by? Her name is Shonda Lee Mackey. I believe that's what she goes by. And she's here locally in Huntington Beach, and I've worked with her actually quite a bit. I really like her. She's very uninhibited about posing. And I got those. I always like to tell people how to get this stuff. Those are bales of hay I got at Michael's. They were like $6 a piece.
Yeah,
little miniature bales of hay. I'm thinking, is that for the miniature horses?
No, they sell them as decor. I've bought them. I
had no idea. I always get full-size bales of hay.
I wanted to buy full-size bales of hay, but they're so huge.
Yeah, and they're hard to move.
Yeah. So these little mini bales were like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So I, on one of the big portfolio events that I was running, I had, we were setting up on a friend's property with a bunch of military vehicles. And I wanted to have a little studio space. And I thought, well, I've got an antique tractor because everybody does. And I I went ahead and I thought, well, I'm going to need, I'll just use hay bales. That'll be easy. And I called to see how much it would cost to buy, and I think it was 30 bales of hay, which didn't turn out to be expensive. And a quick tip here: it turns out a lot of feed stores will let you borrow hay.
Wow!
So I borrowed 30 bales of hay, and all I had to pay was the fee to get it delivered, and I had to return it.
Huh.
Do you want to know how sore I was after I put 30 bales of hay on my trailer?
I bet you were.
I actually, the last bale was there, and I'm like, I'll just buy that one. Because it had to go up on a higher level. I'm like, nope.
That's too much.
I'm just going to spend my $5 and buy it.
It's what you do for, that's funny.
But, and that turned out to be, here's an image from that shoot right here with the hay wall. And during a class, it was a lot of fun. We need to, we don't have anything planned yet, but this show is going to have some listener events. And we are going to have a chance for you guys to come out and shoot, and we will be setting things up. I hope to have some announcements midsummer. So look forward to that, hopefully, in the future.
It'll be exciting for us and exciting for you guys.
Yes, or terrifying for us and entertaining for you. One or the other.
Oh, no. We're both event planners. It works out well.
It's a great picture. I love it. I think she's a beautiful model. I love the
she's exotic looking in the face.
Her body shape is one of my favorites. She'd be a great paint model. Paint her up.
I bet.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love working with her.
Well, what are you planning to do with the future of your photography skills? Do you have something in mind?
I usually my mind is constantly thinking, but I'm the kind of shooter that shoots from his hip. So a lot of models will contact me and they go, hey, let's shoot. Yeah, do you have any ideas? And I go, well, just bring some stuff and we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. And that's how I work.
Love it.
And it sounds weird. Sometimes I do have solid concepts, but generally I don't. And it just kind of happens. Sure. I know that sounds weird, but...
No, it sounds like an artist to me.
Now, I discovered you through Model Mayhem. Is there any other place that would be a good place to see your work and contact you?
Yeah, well, there's Facebook and then Instagram.
Are you under Robert Alvarado on both of those?
Yes. Yes, except Instagram, it's Alvarado Pinup.
Alvarado Pinup.
I love the style. Your pinup style is so fun.
Big thanks to you, Robert, for coming on the show. Your images are great, and excellent. I keep an eye on your site to see when the next one posts. Love it.
Hey, guys, and then I was just going to show my book here real quick.
Oh, yes.
Please, tell us.
And this is my latest book. You can get it on Amazon, Target, Barnes & Noble. And if you do purchase it, make sure you open up the inside cover because there's a big pinup poster for you.
Excellent.
Oh, how
so
fun.
That brings us to the one last bit of business I want to talk to you about is obviously you're publishing, and I would hope that Robert Alvarado on an Amazon search will find you.
Yep.
How did you make the leap? Were you approached about doing a book, or did you just wake up one morning and go, I will call companies and see if I can get something published?
Yeah, the getting published game is just that. It's kind of a game. As far as magazines go, I don't have a big ego, so I'm not really thinking, boy, my work is so great it needs to be published. I'm not that kind of a person. But you get a lot of feedback. You go, oh, you should submit. You should do this. You should do that. So I started submitting some of my work to some of the inked magazines, or not inked, but some of the tattoo magazines, and really got nowhere. It really behooves the model to submit. They're the ones that can get better contact. With the exception of Inked magazine, they actually contacted me. So, sorry, I'm going to toot my horn here a little bit, but so I do shoot for Inked magazine in that they use one of my images in their magazine every month.
Oh,
and,
cool.
got a couple covers on their particular magazine because I work with a lot of inked girls. So as far as the book goes, though, I did approach this particular publisher and pitched my book, but I pitched it maybe 3 or 4 publishers, but they're the only ones I heard back from. And so I've actually had 3 books published by them. And the only reason I keep going back to them is the quality of the pictures are just amazing. They please me. So I know if they please me, they're going to please everybody else.
I like it.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Well, we loved having you on the show, and I want to look through your book.
Well, I think you should go interview.
Oh, there we go.
To model for him the next time you're down.
I would love to. I'm in LA on occasion.
Yeah.
Relatively often.
If I might say, your body type is good.
I have that pinup style. You're right.
All right. Well, that sounds great. Yeah, I'm just about an hour's drive south of LA in Orange County. So
okay, that's great.
Well, and I want to thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it. You guys are a lot of fun. Thanks so much for making this really easy.
It's been a real pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, I hope to meet you in person someday.
Same here.
Thank you so much. And thanks again to our sponsors, guests, and This Week in Photography for making this podcast possible.
Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, iTunes, or check out our unedited episodes on thisweekinphoto.com.
We'll see you next time on TWiP GLAM.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.